What's up, everybody? It's your favorite romance novels, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Fanstoys Hunk. Just got it fresh from the toy guy. His email will be in the description. Hit him up. If he doesn't get in contact with you, he's probably sold out. He's a one-man operation. You gotta be patient. Sometimes it's best to get ahead of stuff, be proactive instead of reactive. That's my advice. Anyway, I'm anxious to take a look at this guy as I am most Fanstoys products, but in order to do so, we need to look at accessories. He comes with the gun, it's painted silver, it's sculpted nicely. I've still got some styrofoam on it, but you know, nothing much more to ask for there. He holds it in the more make toy style where it slides down the palm of his hand, so you gotta kind of have his fingers kind of shaped properly, but then once you do, he'll hold it just fine, no problem. The gun can also store in vehicle mode with a little tab at the bottom of the vehicle. He also comes with his drill, like Fabio Foreign, and it has nice sculpted detail and, you know, it's chromed out so it looks nice as well. And of course, that will just grip the front of the bumper there, and now you can do that thing from that episode. He comes with one, why didn't they give me metallic eyes face? But it's sculpted well enough. So let's talk about the figure. The head has the silver paint on the kind of dome of it. And the face sculpt looks perfect. The eyes are painted and not metallic, so I'm not sure what direction we're going these days, because the last one was metallic. We do have paint on the gold as well. That looks great. The head is on a swivel and a hinge, so you can get up, a little bit down, and swivel. This back box will actually swivel a little bit as well, so you can get more articulation than you may think initially. You just got to kind of manipulate it. Normally, I would take issue with that. However, it's part of the character design. It is also a tight joint, so like I'm having a hard time separating it at the moment from the there we go, from this back piece. All right, then we have the shoulders. So once again, we have paint. It is a little muted. I don't know, I'd prefer the metallic, like the gold looks great to me, this looks okay. It's a universal joint, you get out to 90 degrees, a little bit of sculpt work there on the shoulder, and you get around, no problem, no butterfly. These do come untabbed here, but it doesn't really count. The backpack's involved, so let's not give them any extra there. Bicep swivel, single hinged elbow gets you a little bit past 90 degrees. Would have been much more appreciated to have a double. We have a wrist that swivels, and the fingers are on a base pin knuckle. So no issues there. A little bit of sculpt work there in the forearm. All that is well appreciated. Got some extra paint details here in the abdomen, as well as on the trunks there, the pelvis, and no waist swivel. Now you can undo this backpack here, because that's what prevents it, and get some waist swivel. But if you have to undo the transformation to get the articulation, you don't have the articulation. That's my opinion. So, not crazy about that. All right, we got universals for hips with no ratchets. You get the full Van Damme. You get a little shy of the full Monty, but more than you should need. You have a thigh swivel around the universal. That's perfect. You have a knee that's on a single hinge and gets you a little bit past 90 degrees. The joint has also got some sculpted detail on it, so that's nice. For the feet, you do have gray paintwork here. No ankle tilt down, no ankle tilt up, and a limited ankle rocker. So kind of a little limited, this fella. You do have these skirts here. I wonder if that will allow me to get more. Yeah, you get more of a range up, but truthfully, you don't really need it. To be fair. And then there he is from the back, so nice and clean, you know, no issues. Aesthetically, A-stance, this guy's got no issues. Getting into some of the nuts and bolts, there's some concerning things. Size comparison-wise, just real quick as a comparison, there he is next to the bag cube. And I still, you know, honestly, I don't hate the bag cube to this day. Obviously, this gets it a lot better, closer to the cartoon or whatever, but I still kind of like that design. One of my favorites from them, for sure. And there he is with some other G1 cast of characters, and you know, I'm gonna have to rework this diorama at some point, but you get to see him. So let's get him transformed, and the first thing you want to do is pull out the backpack. Now, like we talked about, that will allow you to have a waist swivel. It is super tight, but there's no way to really keep it clean. I guess a little bit like that, but it throws off the look of the figure. So I can't give them credit for it. Untab these side flaps. Bring out these panels here. I have found, the instructions show that you can have his legs down. I have found that you got to have it forward. And then we can fold down these flaps. And then also fold in, sorry about that, so fold in your side flaps. And then collapse your legs back towards the back of the figure. Then do the full Van Damme and twist so that you see the screws facing forward. Take your arm, unplug it like we talked about for a little bit more of an upward movement, I think we did anyway, and rotate this around to the back, and then you just want all screws, I believe. So there. Now you can take your lever here on the thigh and open that up, and then bend the thigh down, and now you can push the leg up and open this tab here at the bottom of the foot and open this up as well. And let's see here. Okay, so unplug this. Unplug that. Bring that forward, and you have a little tab and a hole there. And it's basically the same on this side, except it has this bar. So tab and push it in. Tab. Then the only last thing that you got to do is take these gray parts, and I probably should have flipped them down first, but make sure that they're flipped down out of the way, and that will allow the clearance to kind of get all this pushed together. Let me see if I can show you a cleaner version of that. So open up this little pin here. You can go ahead and flip these gray panels down now. And bend at the knee, well, above the knee rather. You can then bring down your little notch. You can untab your shoulder, bring that around to the back, and you want to see all the screws, I think. There. And then, let's see, untab this here. Open up your legs. And you can actually push that in. Bring your legs around, and then you have to do your pieces here. So open up 1, 2. Collapse them, tab them in there, and then same on this side. 1, and now this one is on like a bar, so 2, and then open up and collapse that, and then just make sure you got it all snug. So then just a couple final cleanup things. Swing these around to the inside and swing the head around to the inside. So now we just have to build the car, basically. So just, let's see here. Bring this piece out, and you can bring this piece around if you'd like. It's already taking shape. Look at us. QC31's in the house. Then you got to get the hood of the vehicle around to the front and lift up the grill, and then you'll see there's 2 notches here where that will sit in, and then we got to get this collapsed. And I got to tell you, collapsing this is I'm not a huge fan of it in robot mode or in alt mode, so I'm gonna try to get a closer look. So you wanna get this bar angled almost at a 45-degree angle inside the cavity, and then you'll see it start to straighten up, and then there. And then honestly, dude, like I wish there was a better way, but like as long as you're clear, you just gotta push. And there. And I mean, like, I've noticed that on a couple of Fanstoys things, you can start pegging this stuff in to the open slots there, that they have these little tolerances here and there. Let me back out a bit now. That it's just a matter of trusting that the materials are gonna hold up to get it into place. And I've noticed it a lot. Like you'll get to a point where you're like, I shouldn't push this thing any further. And then you push it a little further and it goes in. And then this is the other part up here that you wanna make sure is right. And let's see, there's one. Oh, I had the other one. Okay, there's two, and then you can fold the bumper up. And then the last step is to get this piece in. And there's these two ridges here, which are supposed to keep pressure on it, but mine doesn't even feel like it wants to like bend down to that area, so to speak. So there it is, but you see like it just wants to pop up. I'm gonna, once again, I'm gonna attempt it. It might break it, but I'm gonna force it down a little bit further and just see if that'll keep pressure. No, not really. You know, so what you can do also is just fold that flat back, and then you got that little bit of space underneath, but like, who's gonna see it? Do you know what I mean? So I'll get it cleaned up, we'll take a look at it. And there it is, and I don't know, man. I don't know if that's super successful. And I mean, you could fiddle with this and get it even tighter, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't feel like the alt mode is tremendous at all, and I'm gonna fix this. I just can't stand it. Yeah, it's kind of fine. It's like the general shape, but it looks like a little too long in the back of the vehicle. There's a number of things that just like don't look great to me about Brawn's alt mode in regard to this. And just being honest, it's missing something. It seems more suggestive than what Fanstoys normally produces. Fanstoys normally nails stuff. However, here's the thing about it that I will give it. I don't hate the transformation process. A couple steps that I don't care for, namely having to collapse the backpack, but nothing that I hate like I hate some of their transformations, like Cup, for instance. So if I gotta make some sacrifices to alt mode in order to have a transformation that's kind of enjoyable for me, I would be willing to make that sacrifice. But that's going to be on a case-by-case basis depending on the customer. Anyway, what's not a case-by-case basis is Tiger Tracks. Final thoughts, let's talk about the negatives. There's limited articulation here. It's becoming a trend. It's becoming a habit. 90-degree knee, limited ankle rocker, no ankle tilts, waist swivel only if you unplug the backpack, not to mention lack of ab crunch and butterfly joints that are becoming the standard with a lot of other companies. Kind of a problem now. Wouldn't have been a problem if we had a double jointed elbow, if we had a double jointed knee, if we had a full ankle rocker and ankle tilts and all the old school stuff, but not having the old school stuff and missing the new school stuff, kind of a problem. There's also some joint tolerances. The waist is super tight. The head is super tight, so to speak. And I'm also not crazy about all of those flaps that move around the pelvis area, around the hip joints. They seem to get in the way. They're generally annoying. And there's another thing that we got to talk about, and that's that the color's off, right? Now, if you like the color, that's fine. I do. It doesn't bother me. It's close enough, but it's not right. People were giving Blur a hard time, and I don't feel like that was necessarily merited as much as this is. So that's kind of an issue. Also, the alt mode is kind of close enough, I'd say, but not exactly as accurate as many of us would prefer. The positives are kind of the general standard positives of Fans Toys. Great materials, great paint, great sculpt, great presence, kind of meh articulation. And real quick, while the materials do feel good and there's die cast in it and all the kind of normal stuff you expect from Fans Toys, I don't think there's any hardware in this thing whatsoever. Not one ratchet, which is kind of a bummer. It's one of those things you expect from the company and don't necessarily get. The instructions are good as well. Price is a little high because they're on that new kind of price wave and we're not getting a whole lot of more advancements. So yeah, this one, I mean, is probably the best Brawn available, but this one's not a clear and present winner like a lot of their stuff is. This is one of their weaker products. Be aware. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.